Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast called Cesar Rants. My name is Cesar Fernandez, and if you haven't followed my Instagram or Twitter, that is Cesar_Rants. Now, in today's podcast, I want to talk what is to come from this podcast and the topic of some funny stories I have that happened to me before. Hopefully, you can get a laugh out of them. They're kind of funny. Some of them can get serious at times, but no worries whatsoever. So the way I plan to upload weekly, at least once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on if I have time or if I'm able to. And I'll also take suggestions on what I should upload or what I should talk about later on in the future from the comment section below. That would help me entertain you and entertain myself and learn something new. And if you feel like you need or you want to learn about something, just put it down in this comment section down below and I'll pick out the most interesting topic to talk about for a week. And I don't know how long you prefer this podcast to be. I'm going to try to shoot for around 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes or so, and keep everything fresh. So with that out the way, let's talk about some funny stories that have happened to me. And one of those being the time I fell off my skateboard. Now, me being someone who sometimes does not even pay attention to what's going on and am clueless sometimes, at times, not all the time, just at times. I got a new skateboard this year. It was around May, and I decided to ride it when I got out the mall because I got it at Zoomies. I know people hate on Zoomies, but honestly, they have some really good deals and they have rewards points from their app. And not to promote Zoomies because I know some people don't like them at all, and I can see why they don't like them. They rather support a local skate shop, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their preference. But I was leaving the mall and I got on it and I thought it would be fine because I've ridden a skateboard before and I already had a skateboard, and the trucks were tighter on that other skateboard. I got on this one and there were loose trucks and I didn't really pay attention to it. So I went as not as fast as I could, but I was going pretty fast. I mean, everything's brand new on it, so it runs really smoothly. I start going and the board starts to wobble a bit. It keeps wobbling. I'm like, it's probably nothing. I'll probably just slow down here in a bit. Let me just ride off into the street real quick. I should have stopped when I could have, because one thing that happened to me was I got wheel bite. And for those of you who don't know what wheel bite is, it's when your board hits your wheel and it sends you flying, wheel bite, and it leaves a mark on your board. So that's what happened to me, and I went flying and it was in front of people at a restaurant, and they just turned around and looked at me like if I was crazy, and some of them laughed, some of them asked if I was okay. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. All I got was a scratch on my elbow and a scratch on my knee. Everything was perfectly fine, but someone added insult to injury, and this person was trying to be nice. I get he just asked if I was okay, but it was funny. The dude walks out of his store, opens the door, and he says, "Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? Do you need any help?" And all I remember is the people I was with, they just started laughing, and then he started laughing. But hey, I got hurt a little bit, but I helped someone laugh. And they asked me if I was okay. I was perfectly fine. And that's what I enjoy about this world, making people laugh. My goal is to be as happy as possible so then I can help other people be as happy as possible. And that's the reason for this podcast too. For people who aren't as happy as they possibly can be or could be, I want to help shed some light on that. And then another story that I have is pretty tough, pretty difficult one. I was riding my bike through the canal, and I was near there riding my bike, and I decided to go down 2 steps, which is not that much. 2 steps is literally like I can jump up it or I can jump down from it. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna ride my bike down there. Because it was a mountain bike, I didn't feel like getting off for those 2 steps. What is 2 steps gonna do to a mountain bike? It's a good bike. It was a good bike. So I decided to go down, and what I didn't do, which I should have done, was lower the seat or at least lift my body up, because let me tell you something. I did not lift my body up, or I did not put I did not put my seat down. And the next thing I know is that bike is on the ground, and so am I, because the bike seat went up my butt, and it was really painful. One thing I can tell you is I was sore for about a week or so, because it is unpleasant, and it was a big bike seat too. And the person I was with is actually my best friend, and he just started laughing, and he asked if I was okay, and I told him I was fine. It was kind of painful though, because I still had like a 30-minute bike ride home, and it just, man, tell you something, never again am I going to attempt that, because it hurt a lot. So the next story that I have is it's a goofy one, and it's kind of funny. I try to play it off, honestly, but I had a couple guests over my house, and my sister and my mother were home. She tells me to go upstairs to do something. I run up the stairs as fast as I could. Right when I'm at the last step, my sandal, because I was wearing flip-flops, so my flip-flop got stuck on the last step, and it sent me flying. My knee hit the ground, and my wrist hit the wall, and it was just bad. All you heard was a thump from it. So then they asked me, hey, are you okay? Is everything fine? And I just pretend like nothing happened. I try to laugh it off. I'm like, oh no, it's fine. Nothing happened. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong. In reality, I'll tell you something. I was in a lot of pain. A lot. It hurt really bad. My knee hurt and my arm hurt from hitting the wall. And from that, when I talk about body weight and my body, my legs and my arms, the story that happened to me a while back is I was wearing roller skates, and it was at school. They did this little event where you can be on roller skates for like a week or something. It's fun for some people. For me, it isn't my cup of tea, because I never really wore roller skates before, and I remember it was the first day of roller skating in gym class, and I decided to start to learn what those little walker things they have, and you can like get your balance with that. And I was like, hey, I think I got the hang of this now. Let me try going around the gym. I was doing kind of fine going around the gym. I was struggling a bit, but not that much. When I come to the other side of the gym of where I was, because it's a square, and you start on in one corner, you go up the other corner to the other corner, you go left to the other corner, and you go down that corner. I was going down to the corner, and I just remember start to slip and lose my balance, and my leg fell underneath my body, and people around me, they just said they saw me fall, but they heard a thump from my head hit the ground. And I didn't even realize when my head hit the ground. I didn't even feel it. I just remembered not being able to get up. My gym teacher running over, putting me in a chair, like an office chair, taking my skates off and rolling me down to the nurse's office. And the nurse says, hey, your bone could be broken. Your ankle could be broken, or it could be sprained. But I can't tell because you got bony ankles. And oh man, I remember just sitting there thinking, if it's broken or if it's sprained, I'm going to have a really bad day. Because I was already having a bad day, but I was gonna have a bad week and a bad month, because I remember her saying it could be broken, sprained, or dislocated. And I think the one thing I feared most was it being dislocated, because one thing I know is from videos or things I see online is I see people get their bones relocated, and I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but man, one thing's for sure, it looks painful, and I did not want to go through that. I was already thinking in my head, man, this is gonna happen, I'm going to literally cry, and I'm going to just be in pain for a long time. But luckily, it was fine. I just laughed it off. People after that kind of laughed it off with me too. They saw I was okay, so it was all fine. They actually made jokes about how my head hit the ground and how it went thump. So I mean, it was fine. It was fun though, but dangerous. So that last story would conclude today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope in the future I can get recommendations of different topics you would want me to talk about. This was Cesar Rants for the first episode, the very first episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can subscribe and put a comment of what I should do next, or how I should handle my podcast uploading, or how I should handle my format for my podcast. My name is Cesar Fernandez, and until next time, adios.